Yeah. Okay. So I think Mutt Lange, I think Shania Twain. Did you try and reach out to more country artists?
Yeah,
You got Leon Rhymes. Was there? Were you trying?
yeah.
Did you reach out to? I'm sure you did, like Garth Brooks and George Strait or Dolly Parton.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I didn't reach out to George Strait, but I did reach out to Dolly Parton. I'm still reaching out to Dolly Parton, even though the
Good.
book's
Don't
over.
don't give up. Right. I'm still trying to reach out to her too,
Yeah, I mean,
for no reason whatsoever.
the talk about bringing on the heartbreak. This woman has broken my heart. I'm telling you, I tried with her probably more than anybody else. Probably more than anybody else. I mean, I wanted Dolly Parton in this book so bad. So yeah, it was I mean, so many incredible country artists that I tried to get, but I was lucky. I mean, as you mentioned, I got some amazing people. I'm Emmylou Harris, and yeah, there's a bunch of icons that I just weren't able to lock down.
Was there any difference between singing country and rock? Did you kind of, because I'm always curious about that. Is that just
You know
yeah.
what? I would have said, I was about to say no. And then you reminded me, Patti Griffin, who's one of the great all-time voices.
Hmm.
We were speaking and she was talking to me about she had breast cancer and how she had to find a new place with vocals there's placement, vocal placement, kind of where you're singing from. And when she was recovering from breast cancer and tried singing, she had no voice left and she had to learn how to sing all over again. And we were speaking about that, and she was talking about having to find a new angle, and I said, so I guess we're not going to get this rock record out of you that I've always wanted, because Patti Griffin, when there's certain Patti Griffin songs in her catalog where they are rock songs, Flaming Red, stuff like that. Um, um, and I just was like, I want to hear a rock and roll Patti Griffin album. And I was kind of like pushing her into that. And she said, well, I don't know, maybe da da da. And I was like, really? Could you still, do that? And she was saying, it's actually these other notes, these actual like kind of more country ballad kind of held out notes that are actually more difficult for her than, the rock stuff, which is, I would never have guessed that.
Mm.
But when you think about it, maybe it makes perfect sense. I don't know. I don't have Patti Griffin's voice where I can sustain that gorgeous note the way she can for so long. But
Okay, that also reminds me back to Michael Stipe. When I was reading that, he learned how to sing. What was it? PJ Harvey sings from her back, or what?
yeah,
And what was? Can you? I've always heard, from the diaphragm. But then there's also, so can you? And he was describing how PJ Harvey was doing it. Can you kind of elaborate on
yeah,
this bizarre process? It
yeah. I
sounds
mean,
bizarre to me.
well, that's one of the cool things too about the book is like, even if I didn't get to interview certain people, like I tried to get PJ Harvey and it didn't happen. But I got to hear, luckily enough, Michael Stipe comes out with some amazing story, and now I get a little piece of PJ in the book. So, but he was talking about, and you'll have to really read that part to understand fully what he's saying that she does, or what she told him she does. Because when Michael was having some vocal troubles, he was asking her. He asked Tom York, where they were placing their voice, and PJ was doing it from her back. And he was explaining to me how she does it, and like how, he was like, sit in the, put your back against the back of your chair and feel that placement there, and then sing from that. And there was a little thing regarding how she makes that happen. And then Tom York sings from the top of his head. And when you're singing, by the way, you can put your voice in those places and see how they resonate for you and if they work for you. So it's really fascinating. But yeah, it was cool to be able to get that. I mean, I got to speak with Billy Squire, and I asked him about singing with Freddie Mercury. And now we're having this amazing Freddie Mercury conversation where you're hearing all this stuff about Freddie Mercury that you would have never known. So there's so much cool little things like that that happen throughout the book.